Good morning everybody and welcome back. This is Enrico from Conducting Music, back to art in quarantine. Today we're gonna have a look at something a bit more startling than usual. Did you hear that? You sure you didn't hear anything? Alarms. I'm going to show you a few different variables that you can use, from the simplest ones to the more creative ones. We're going to start using our microbit, okay? So it's always our best friend here. If you do not have it, do not worry. You can always follow through the website for every step of the experiment. Firstly, let's try and figure out the notes that we want to play for this alarm. The sound that I've got in mind is the one that goes beep-o, beep-o, beep-o. The interval is called the interval of the devil. So if you start from any note, C, and you go up 6, you get this note. From C, you go to C, you go to F sharp. I'm pressing two letters here, A and T, and this is how they sound. And together. So we have established the two notes. We got a C and we got an F sharp. Back on our usual platform, let's now connect two buttons. So we've got A and B. And in this time, because I want the siren to keep ringing and not just to have a given rhythm, I'm going to use the ringtone, middle C here for the button A. And then I'm going to switch to F sharp, which is this one up here. Look again, if you start from C, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here's your final note. You can start from any note you like and go up 6 steps. Third combination, so A plus B pressed together. And inside here, I'm going to put a rest. So let's see how it sounds in the browser first of all. I'm going to do the exact same thing and now take it down to my microbit. So click on the gear here, top right, pair device, pair it. Of course, make sure the microbit is connected. Connect, download. Let's finish flickering. Ready? Here we go. Let's take a look at different type of alarm. Of course, when we ring an alarm, it might not be two fixed notes, but it might be what we call a glissando between the two. So a sound that starts from one place and gradually increases to another and then comes back again. In order to build this, we need to approach a new concept. It's called a variable. Now a variable, think of a variable as a box, and inside this box we can put pretty much any type of data that we want. Strings, that means words, integers, or in other words numbers, images, and so forth. In this case it's gonna be just a number, because imagine a sound which starts from 200 and every second increases by 1 or maybe by 2. So it's 101, 102, 103. So we want to create a code that allows us to increase this number by maybe pressing button A and also decrease this number by pressing button B. We want to create two different variables. One, which is the sound that we want. I'm going to call it siren. And the other one is going to be how much does this sound change by every time. So I'm just simply going to call it how much. At the beginning, we can set, and do you remember how to do beginning? It's start. It's here on the blue boxes under basic. We set the siren to, let's say, 300. The number is not really important. It indicates the starting frequency. I'm also going to set how much to 1. Every time we get a reading, it's going to be +1. So 300, 301, 302, 303. When does this sound need to change? Well, it needs to change forever. Here is the interesting part. We need to change our siren by how much? So when we boot the microbit, this is set to 1. So if I load this, the code is simply going to go up, 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 up forever. However, we want to be able to control this. And this is how. It's actually quite fun. I grab two buttons, button A and then button B. Inside here, I want to be able to reset this how much. So I'm going to grab this set how much. Can you guess what's happened if I set it to 0? Well, the siren is not going to change anymore. So I want to change this one to 1. And in order to make it go down, you figure out what I need to do. Well, it's simply a -1. So before we try it, let's see what this code does. When I boot the microbit, it's looking at a siren, which is 300 Hertz. This siren is set to change by 1 every time we do something. When is it changing? Constantly. How much is it changing by? Well, if I press button A, it's changing by 1. If I press button B, it's changing by -1. So in this case, it's going to be 300, 301, 302, 303, 304, 303, 302, 301, 299, and so forth. And it's gonna change relatively quickly. So let's go and grab our ringtone. And what do we need to ring? Siren. So I'm gonna grab the variable, place it, download it, and let's try it. How can we make it go faster? We just need to change these numbers. If I put a 10 here and a -10 here, it's gonna increase and decrease really quickly. So I've got one more idea for the alarm. I want to make something a bit, reminds me a bit more of sci-fi movies or action movies. It's a sound that goes like toot, 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 and I want it to be automatic, so we can do a slightly different type of code. For this, we're gonna have to create an if statement. To understand an if statement, we can make an everyday life example. Let's say that you wake up in the morning, you look at the window. If it's sunny, we get the ball and we go out play in the park. If instead it's raining, you're gonna get an umbrella. Why do we need this if else? Because I want this frequency to be able to reach a certain peak, let's say 600, and then if it hits 600, you need to reset it to 0. Else, keep growing. Let's start by amending this code a little bit. So remember, it starts from 300. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to pick 180 and then we can change it. We want it to be a little bit faster than earlier. So let's say 6. If I get rid of the buttons, this one is going to go up and up and up and up and up. So let's create our if statement. It starts at 180, perfect, I'm happy. When it reaches 800, I want it to reset to 180, wait for a second, and then restart. So let's see if we can do this. We go back to logic and get an if statement. In this case, we go if, and then we get a comparison here, you see it, is 0 equals 0, if siren equals 780. Why 780? Because we might not be able to hit 600. So if I've got 180 to start with and I increase by 6, I know I'm gonna get to 600 at some point plus 180. So I'm gonna hit that 780. And when it gets to that, I want it to set siren back to 180. And maybe put a little bit of silence for maybe just a beat. Here we go. So this code worked, I'm quite happy. I would try to change its speed by increasing or decreasing the number, of course. Make sure if you do an if statement that your number actually hits that top number. Otherwise, if I put a 5, actually with a 5, it will work. But if I put a 7, it will not hit because it's gonna go 770, 777, 784. There'll be many more things coming up. Think about it. We need to be able to trigger this alarm, and we can do so with light, with movement, with a magnetometer, which is like a metal detector. We can create lots of interesting things, but there's going to be more material in the next video. So thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so, please subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified with the next video. Thanks to Arts Council England and the Love Music Trust for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you on the next episode of Art in Quarantine. Stay safe and healthy and wash your hands. Bye.